Another weather impact day here in central and eastern Kentucky. And of course, the weather very impactful earlier this afternoon. Viper radar showing what's left of what was a pretty intense squall line that really got attacked together along I-75, moving eastward. Basically, severe thunderstorm warnings all up and down the line through south central and out into eastern Kentucky. A lot of lightning with it as well. Luckily, we have had very few damage reports. That's always good news, but you see the loop again. It really intensified once it got past the I-75 corridor, but raced quickly to the east. Now, the downside of it ending, we've had the sun come out, and of course the main surface cold front area of low pressure still out to our west, so that has allowed the atmosphere to recover. And you see what's going on down here across west central and western Tennessee and into western Kentucky. Now, these individual supercells around Nashville causing some issues, but notice how the line there in western Kentucky, west Tennessee, coming together as a line, those storms kind of morphing into a squall line, which could and should eventually work its way off to the east-northeast and should impact our area as we head into the mid-evening on this Tuesday. Tornado watch for a few of our counties out toward Adair and Russell County till 11 o'clock. The tornado watch from earlier for eastern Kentucky canceled, of course, as those storms moved along to the east. As far as the severe threat, Storm Prediction Center hanging on to the level 3 out of 5 risk for that next wave that is expected to move in a little bit later on. Of course, the big question is how much does the atmosphere recover after it was worked over by that line of storms just a little while ago? Still have the tornado threat, although it is higher, of course, given what happened last Friday night, early Saturday. It is fortunate that we are not right under the bullseye, but the threat still exists. Of course, the wind threat, I think, a little more legitimate with this. Mainly see a squall line coming through the area, and we can get the isolated tornado spin-ups within the line. That's usually a more typical severe weather setup during the spring. The outlier historic tornado that, of course, we'll tell you more about now that the final survey data has come in. But our futurecast here in the short term, mid to late evening, still trying to paint a squall line. Another one coming through the area. Hopefully won't be as intense as the one we had this afternoon, but that's a possibility. And then overnight, we see things wind down. And even though it's going to be unsettled, a little quieter pattern over the next couple of days. We've had some heavier rain, several waves over the last several days, including one earlier today with another one possible. Flood watch along and south of the I-64 corridor till 2 a.m. Wednesday, as we've mentioned a number of times. Don't forget this evening here in Louisville's county warning area, including Lexington down to Campbellsville, Nicholasville, Richmond. Those no weather radios are not functioning, at least for any of the warnings. So you'll want to stay with us here. ABC 36, download our app. You can, of course, get the warnings there and alerts and keep those wireless devices on. Checking out Mount Sterling, Montgomery County, sun's back out, 72. A lot of rain, cooled air earlier, but that sun has made a huge difference. Jackson County near McKee a couple of hours ago, covered with rain in the 60s. You're back into the low 70s, and look what's happening along and west of I-75. Upper 70s to around 80, and it feels like summer because those dew points are in the upper 60s to around 70, so quite muggy to say the least. Southwest flow out ahead of this cold front in the area of low pressure, warm front arcing to the north, so that's going to put us and keep us in that favorable area for additional storms this evening. Now, once the front moves through, notice how we hang on to the chances the next couple of days and do dry it out to end the week and kick off the upcoming holiday weekend. The issue is this. The cold front moves on, but we've got some upper level energy that's going to hang around, and we'll get these spokes of energy rotating around it. Tomorrow, just an isolated shower. I think the best chance may be as one swings through the area on Thursday, but then we catch enough high pressure for Friday to kind of dry it out, and it will be pleasantly cool as we wrap up the week. But our average highs in the upper 70s, we're going to be well below the curve. Some of those early morning lows going to be on the chilly side into the mid 40s later in the week. So another round of strong storms It'll be possible this evening, ending overnight. 60 the low tomorrow. Partly sunny. You'll notice the west breeze at about 10 to 15. Just a few isolated showers in the extended forecast here. Again, a little bit on the cool-ish side with those low to mid 60s Thursday, Friday. Saturday will be your best weekend day for the long holiday weekend because these scattered shower chances ramp up Sunday and into Memorial Day with afternoon highs right around 70.